Hello, folks, and welcome back to Tyranny. As always, of course, I am Falcon, your host. Folks, please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my stuff. It helps me to grow my channel and really aids me a great deal. And very importantly, please check out my Patreon. You can find the link both at the very top right of the video, down in the description below, and at the very end of the video. Because going forward, it's going to be very important to the future of the channel, and how I interact with you guys, and how I make content, because I really want to make some unique content with that. So, let's go ahead and jump into this. Bear in mind, we are picking up right where we left off. However, it has been a while since I've actually been recording. This is not the same recording session. This is probably at least a week later. Maybe even longer. I actually don't even remember when I last was actually recording. So, I kind of remember what's going on, but a little fuzzy. So we did just kill the former Regent, or, what are they called? Regent, Actually, it's a very simple way to check this. Yeah, the Regent, yep. So we did just kill the Regent, and the daughter of, Gravenash, who was his prisoner, so we thought, anyway, apparently, from the sounds of it, must have had some sort of relationship with this guy. We have yet to actually 100% verify exactly what's going on there, but, yeah. So, this is the shield that he dropped. I think this is from him anyway. It's actually a pretty damn good shield. Now, is it better than the one that Garrett's using? Or Barrick, rather, is using? Garrett. In all reality, maybe not. Like, it has actual better stats, aside from the recovery thing. But this does have the lightweight and quick step functions on it. Which I think are probably make this better anyway. At the end of the day, even though this does have better parry, dodge, and endurance, I still think because of those enchants or whatever the hell they are on it, I think this is still the better shield. Now I'll have to upgrade Harbinger's Wings, or at least take a look at it, at what Exquisite level would bring to it, to see a more equal comparison, because right now, I mean, we're looking at we are looking at an exquisite level shield versus a superior level, so that in of itself may account for the change in the stats. So we need to actually see what Harbinger's Wings would be as an exquisite, so we can more accurately compare them. But nevertheless, it is definitely a good shield that we picked up. And even if we don't use it, will certainly be valuable. There was a number of other items in this room as well that we need to investigate. I'm not at all sure that any of these are going to be better than the stuff that we're using right now. I guess we will find out. Like, this is slightly better. It's just a minor upgrade. I mean, it's the natural minor upgrade that we would need for him, so that's not really much to speak of. This is the exact same way. It's an upgrade, but it's not actually... Oh, actually, that's actually armor that I can use for my main. This does have the, it's better with slash and crush, way better with slashing and crushing, but piercing and fire is way worse than my Fatebinder armor. The deflection, recovery is better, that's just straight better. The deflection is probably the same once the other one was upgraded to exquisite. The normal armor class is going to be the same, however the specialty armor is way different with this. But because it has a weakness to pierce and fire, I don't know if it's something I would necessarily want for her. I might be better off just upgrading the armor. But it would definitely be valuable for him because he has shit armor right now. So I'm going to give it to him. because it is a very, very significant to straight up upgrade for him. Because right now he's got really, really crap armor. So we're gonna take that as an upgrade and call it a day for him. Since he had no purple armor, and well, we have several other people who do have purple armor, so you know. I do need to upgrade the armor for the whole team across the board, though, because we are not really as good as we probably should be. So I know for a fact she went into this room over here. We will address that in a moment. But in the meantime, a drug recipe, okay, and a couple of sigils, which I believe I don't have. The drug recipe we have to use with a Spire library, but it would give us the thing that we need with a different upgrade that we don't presently have, because we need the apothecary, or whatever the hell the upgrade is called. I don't remember what it's called now, to be able to actually use anything like that. So yes, we can research it, but even once it's researched, we can't do anything with it. So, because I prioritized, being able to get the forage and the equipment and stuff, as opposed to the other things that we had available to us. So, of limited use, but I will certainly take the sigils, however. An interrupt effect to a spell. And increases the number of projectiles, which could be really cool. So let's take a look at that really quick. Just because I'm curious what kind of spells or whatever that might allow us to do here. So, oh, okay. Interesting. So, it does not... It does not change the damage at all. Which makes me wonder, is it dividing the damage between the two projectiles, or is each of those projectiles doing that damage? Because if each individual projectile is doing that damage, that could be huge. Like, that could be absolutely amazing if each of the individual projectiles is doing the damage. If it's not, well, it still could be good, but possibly a little less good. I suppose it just kind of depends on exactly how that works. And I can't really tell exactly how it works, to be honest with you, so it doesn't really super explain it. I am curious if the Icicle Storm one is affected by it. No, okay. Let's say, because that is already a bunch of projectiles. I know it says that specifically that it affects the distant impact, but I was still curious about the exact specifics of what it may or may not affect. But it doesn't appear to do too much on that one. Now why... Like, it works with Fireball, obviously, but why does it not work with the Frost, like Rime Spike spell? It's interesting. Very interesting. I mean, not hugely important, but still a little curious. Alright, so we need to find out what's going on here. Alright, Amelia. Blocking the doorway, she regards you with eyes that brim with tears, yet blaze with hints of her father's grim resolve. She has armored herself in disfavored raiment to face you down. Oh, she's wearing disfavored armor now. Interesting. Oh, there's a new thing too, Regents of Stalwart. That wasn't available before. Stay away from my daughter. You will not have her. Yeah, so confirmed. It is the daughter of Amelia, the daughter of Amelia, who's the daughter of Gravenash, and the daughter of the former regent of Stalwart. Interesting. Oh no. Oh, by the Archon's mercy, don't let this be so. Barrett covers his face and howls softly. Did you know this would prolong the edict? Your daughter is the Regent heir? How is this possible? How is this possible? Are you retarded? The same way these things are always possible. Just saying. Just saying. Okay? A little bow chicka bow wow went on, and, kid came about. Alright? I mean, what are you, stupid? Okay. Did you know this would prolong the edict? We suspected that the bloodline would implicate my baby in Kairos' eyes, but I knew nothing for certain until this moment. She shakes her head. Don't ask me to interpret the Overlord's heartless design. I have no love for this edict, if that's what you're asking. It's torn a noble realm to pieces, fractured the pillar of the culture, and ruined countless lives. She releases a heavy sigh and hardens her intense gaze. But I have a responsibility to the people of Stalwart to preserve their heritage and leadership. My father and the other Archons destroyed this nation. She and I... She glances back at the crib, then quickly focuses back on you. We can help put it together. What a naive notion. I had thought better of you, but this shows nothing but contempt for all that the disfavored accomplished and sacrificed in the conquest. He shakes his head with disapproval. So your daughter is the Regent heir. Well, now that you've killed Stratus Hiriden, she is. She draws herself up and glares at you. She has nothing to do with Kairos or the Edict. You have no right to judge her on the basis of blood. I'm not judging her. I'm simply saying she'd have to die for the Edict to, be ended. Of course, there is another option, though. How is this possible? Yeah. Please, thank you, Verse. Thank you for this. Because I was going to be like, are you stupid? Verse, do you need me to draw it out for you? Because there are a few ways it can happen, and people get confused about these things. First, she lifts her leg above her head, but you cut her off with a gesture. She lifts her leg above her head. Damn. Okay. Must be very acrobatic there, Verse. You cut her off with a gesture. Please, I know what the hell you're talking. What we're going. Yeah. Like, but seriously though, what are you, retarded? What? My union with Stratus the Younger. Even in remembrance, Amelia doesn't shed her warlock resolve. He showed me kindness behind these walls and taught me about Stalwart and the Tears. The heritage and the culture that made these people the pride of the realm. Come on. He died in the third year of the conquest. A disfavored spear pinned him to the ground. He fought to defend, and he never rose again. So you... Okay. Interesting. So... You didn't... So that was it's the grandfather that we just killed, then. Not the father of the kid. Interesting. Oh, okay. And from the sounds of it, this happened before the edict came into play. So there's a good chance the Graven Ash knows about this. Curious. He died in the third year of the conquest. A disfavored spear pinned him to the ground. He fought to defend, and he never rose again. The Regent remained in sentinel stand for her protection. The edict was his responsibility to shoulder, not hers. She tips her head down in challenge. My daughter will not be another victim of Kairos' conquest. She has the blood of the North coursing through her veins, and no one has the right to take her life. The child must die to end the edict. Stand aside, or share her fate. It must be done. What is one baby against the fate of Stalwart? The Regent's grandfather sends his respects if we just attack. Calm yourself, Amelia. There must be another way. Another way? Demetrius shakes his head in sadness. Amelia turned her back on the Legion. The general has no place for the disloyal, no matter whose blood flows in their veins. She's probably about to be like, dude, Graven Ash knows. All the same, if you can guarantee my daughter's life, I will return to Ash and submit to his judgment. Harsh as it will be. But that will leave us with the matter of the edict. What could we possibly do about the Edict of Storms? Regent blood flows through my daughter's veins. Abdicate your line. As Regent Mother, you have the authority. You must merely say the words. Perhaps there's a way to circumvent the law. I must research the matter. Make a good point. It's entirely hopeless. The child dies. Damn. No, we're going to go with the lower option there because it's obviously the superior option. Oh, quite right! Lantry licks the tip of his quill as he flips his parchment. And since the Regent Mother isn't of stalwart and can't actually sit as Regent, that should, I hope, terminate the line. I am not to show preference for how this part of the Chronicle unfolds, but I'd rather title this chapter Legal Remedy than Infant Regicide, if given the choice. Hope reflects in her expression for the first time. Is it truly as simple as that? A clerical formality to spare an innocent life? She huffs as much in surprise as derision. If this works, I'll owe you more than I can possibly repay. Here, the edict damaged this trinket, but you might still find it useful. I, Amelia, formally abdicate my daughter's claim to the regency of Stalwart, dissolving all ties, compacts, vassals, and holdings. We forfeit all protections and advantages given by the ancient bloodline. She pauses. Was that enough? I think we're about to find out. Be warned, if that doesn't help you, nothing can. Feel a familiar sensation, the air growing hot and electric before suddenly erupting in overwhelming waves of energy. By the way, when I did that, before we hit the end of the conversation here, it gave me an achievement. Lawyered. Exploit a legal loophole to keep Amelia's baby alive. Nice. And I like how that actually works with the edict, too. I like how the edict actually accepts that. Alright. To be fair, though, the edict actually has another precisely worded way that the edict can end, without having anything to do with the Regent's line. It does say that when the last sword is broken. So, if they disarmed, basically surrendered, and completely threw down their entire military hierarchy or whatever, the edict would end that way too. I'm just saying. At first, you think the force of arcane power dissipating is enough to carve the skin from your bones, a sensation you attribute to the Edict of Storms, but it cools just as quickly. Now, technically we didn't end the edict, because she did when she said the words, just saying. But I imagine the fact that we already have some of the power affects us. The winds buffeting the keep have abated. Outside, an eerie silence pervades the air, a stillness that hasn't visited Stalwart for a long time. You can hear the very symbols that brought the Edict of Storms into being, each syllable proclaiming itself from a newfound corner of your mind. It would seem the edict is now a part of you. We've gained major favor with the Unbroken, which doesn't surprise me. Oh, thank goodness it worked! You spared my daughter. Here I'd come to expect nothing but cruelty from the servants of Kairos. She looks at the crib. Now we have a chance at what might never have been, a life outside of these walls. My father can be severe and uncompromising, but I'll return to Ironhearth and his protection. At least while the conflict persists. Hopefully he isn't so consumed by war that I can't still appeal to him as a man and a father. I always appreciated them more than the Archon. I regret none of the decisions I made to get here. We'll disagree on that much, but my daughter will be safe. The stalemate between the Unbroken and the Disfavored is at an end. A victory that can't be measured in reigns. Thank you, Fatebinder. I'll remain at Sentinel Stand to secure this location, and send word to Ash of your excellent work. And we have ended the thing, and of course that increased the thing there, and how much power did that end up giving me? Whew! Wow. Alright, yeah, we were at like, I don't remember precisely now, but we were at, I want to say 800, 700 maybe? Our power just went like through the damn roof. And I think it also might have done something edict-wise of interest as well. But that leaves only 2 edicts actually active right now. The Edict of Fire and the Edict of Stone.
Sorry, I can't.
Which is interesting. So, we can come in here, we can check out the kid. It'll open this, whatever this is. Just loot, whatever. And the crib has been meticulously cleaned, while other objects in the hall have traces of dust and metallic powder on them. And none of that is to be found here. We're keeping the baby clean of anything, which is good, because she needs to be. Sentinel Stand is ours. The Disfavored won't forget this honor. Where did she go? Oh, did she leave? I guess she left because I guess she's going back to where Graven Ash is, the disfavored camp. Okay, so we finished that part. I don't know what we're gonna do next. I don't know where the story's gonna take us. I imagine we're probably going to have to go fight the Scarlet Chorus. There we go. That's the word. But I don't know for sure. So the keep is safe in our hands. Repairs are already underway. Good? I guess? I mean... He actually has quite a few soldiers. Ash will want to hear about what we've accomplished here. I'll hang back and oversee repairs of the defenses. I wonder what happens, because we've had multiple opportunities to do it now, too. I wonder what happens if you elect to break your alliance with the Unbroken, or I imagine the Scarlet Chorus. You probably have that option, too. And kind of try to go things, like, on your own. Like, what happens then? Like, does this just be... Do I, like, kind of start forming my own straight-up empire? Or, like, to what degree does this work? I'm just really curious about exactly, like, the mechanics of some of this. That was a rest item thing, whatever the hell it's called. So nothing that I need to concern myself with there. I think we have everything at this point. So I guess... Yeah, so we have to go back to Graven Ash. I was going to say, I imagine that's what we have to do, because I don't know what the hell else we are going to do at this point. We might as well just go straight there. I do need to go back to the spires and do some stuff there, but I'll probably try and do that off camera instead. And at the moment, at least, there's not really much purpose in me fiddling around to do much of anything else. Now, I wonder what would have happened if we had gone, if we had waited to go do the, fight the leader of the, Unbroken, who was at Trapper's Junction. I wonder if we had waited to do that, how things would be different if we had come to Sentinel Stand first and done all of this the first time around. I wonder, would there have been ways to end this differently? If we had ended it the way that we just did, where we got where we ended the Edict of Storms, but without killing the... Well, at this point, the Regent, the daughter. I wonder what would have happened. Like, would things have been different? And if they were, like, how seriously different would they have been? It's an interesting idea. There's many times through this game that there have been many points that it's like, well, if I had done things differently, if I had done it this other way, if I'd gone with this other option, what would have happened? And I like that in this game, because that's not something that you get in very many games. It's certainly not to the degree and the frequency that you get it in this game. Like, you might get it once or twice here and there, but we've had that kind of situation come up countless times now, and that's not something that I would generally expect to see, really. Okay, so what are we gonna see when we come in here? Is she gonna be here? Is Ash... I don't see her. Which is actually kind of surprising, because I was expecting to see her with the Graven Ash, but she's not here. It's a little annoying, but oh well. The great keep of Sentinel Stand is ours. Oh, how I will relish tearing down every vestige of the Unbroken and burying the standards of that corrupt realm. It's a great victory for the disfavored. What's more, we are delivered from the Edict of Storms. My runners speak of you in glowing terms, and I instructed them specifically not to report on your deeds in too much detail. I wanted to hear it from no one but the source. I would know more about how it felt to stand in the center of the storm as the Overlord's magic dissolved around you. You must be weary from your travels. I'm eager to hear your account, but I will understand if you still need to gather your thoughts. It's a joyous day, and I wouldn't want to spoil it with impatience. I am not going to tell them about the spires. Let's go over my success. The seat of Regents in the tarnished gem of Stalwart. I have anticipated this, so tell me, what do you have to report? Stratus Hirudin is dead. That is gratifying to hear. The cowards spent too long crouched behind the walls of Sentinel's Stand, and deserved none of Kyrus' mercy. The Regent family was an inbred and corrupt line of failed rulers. They had neither the courage nor the grit to lead their realm to prosperity, as they demonstrated. Stalwart is much improved by their absence. The edict's over, and I have breathed fresh air for the first time since I returned to Ironhearth. You managed to accomplish what my forces could not. More importantly, you've abated Kyrus' anger for the time being. With the great stalemate of the conquest ended, surely we have earned the favor of Tunon and Kyrus alike. Every deed you accomplished in the name of the disfavored proves our right to rule these lands. He balls a fist and enthusiastically pumps it in the air. How did it feel, Fatebinder? I have not had the distinction of breaking an edict, much less several. Glares silently. Oh, damn. I feel like breaking a spell and more like... felt less like breaking a spell and more like absorbing it. I'm toying with powers of which I know little. If it's all the same, I'll keep my feelings in the matter to myself. Honestly, at this point, I don't even care if Graven Ash gets mad at us. I'm not gonna glare at him because that's just senseless. But I'm gonna go with the top one. A strange distinction. I would offer you some comforting assurance that this will pass. That would likely be an empty promise. Your actions at Vendrun's Well have caused us all to expect more than you were ever prepared to shoulder as a legal cleric. Leaving up to your admittedly high expectations will do more than merely get you out through this war. Or get you through it. There are greater things to come once the dust settles. So what's our next step? Is there nothing else you wish to discuss? Nothing about my daughter? He furrows his brow and looks at you with some unspoken emotion. Yeah, let's talk about her. You have seen her restored to my keeping. She is safe in Ironhearth, and in spite of myself, I am pleased to have her home. He nods and releases a heavy sigh. The tension in his shoulders lifts, if only for a moment. She has taken to her quarters and speaks not of what transpired during her long imprisonment. I have instructed her guard to offer space to rest and regain her strength, but so far she keeps to herself. She has not sought her father's counsel either. He frowns at this, deep in thought. Say what you would, then. She had a daughter with Stratus the Younger, the Regent's son. She bridged the gap between the North and South by mothering a female heir. She redefined sedition by birthing the next regent to Stalwart. She returned to Ironhearth. Have you not spoken? Let's go with that one. Not but a short greeting. She took her meager belongings and fled to the castle with instructions that she not be disturbed. She looked well enough. Her armor was in decent repair. She only had a bundle of clothes salvaged from the keep. Although later she summoned a trusted camp healer who reported her condition as fair. The Archon's eyes widen, his face taking on a deathly pallor. I cannot. He squeezes his eyes shut and shakes his head vigorously. No. The very idea repulses me beyond all measure. And you, Fatebinder, he bears down on you with madness in his eyes. If you would bring slander and atrocity to this fort, then I will instruct Tunon to strike your head from your lawful neck. Do you hear me? He bellows with such force that spittle wets his beard, and the cohorts of the training yard turn with panic in their eyes. He cuts off his speech and holds his rigid posture. Throughout the prolonged silence, you aren't sure if he plans on swinging his mace in a wide arc or simply exploding for the tension he fights to repress. A vein rises along the crest of his scalp and slowly recedes as Ash calms his breathing. I didn't say a goddamn word. I just asked if she'd come back. I'm just going to back away and let you handle this one. Don't mind me. Yeah, I'm with you, Verse. I'd be like, you need a few minutes. I'm gonna go over there, grab some food, maybe a drink, and come back. You fine? No? Maybe you sleep on it.
Speak no more of these lies. I won't have them poisoning the air of Ironhearth in the ears of my fellow countrymen. You're a fool if you think I believe such an obvious ruse. He regards you with uncertainty, his eyes searching for truth or contradiction. She didn't say anything at all about her situation. He holds your gaze with flat, even focus. He takes a deep breath through his nose, filling his lungs and swelling his chest until he's expanded significantly in your vision. When he releases his breath, he comes out deflated and resigned. It's amazing to me how long it takes some people to get the hint. Don't mind me, I'll just sit back and watch this play out. By the Overlord's mercy. Was there ever even a father more blind than me? The bundle, the healer, the sorrowful looks worn by her attending soldiers. His gaze shifts over to one of the windows of his castle, just in time to catch a silhouette stepping back from view. Oh, Kairos' flames, but I should hurl her and that accursed creature from the rampart walls. Our family name, the very north, is degraded by her lechery. He grabs at his face and howls into his hands. In time, you could learn to forgive her. Giving her a deserving punishment comfort you? You shouldn't trust her. She'll only defect to the enemy again. And in time, you could learn to forgive her. No, that is not possible, Fatebinder. When I look into her eyes, I will see only the vileness that she invited into her heart, the deception that her captors inflicted to twist my daughter into the disgrace she has become. The wretched girl is still a member of my legion, but she has broken our bond as surely as if she had killed me. I have lost my daughter, and she must learn to endure a general in her father's place. In spite of my temperament, you have done as I asked. Amelia is returned. The edict is ended. Perhaps I'm too quick to blame you for the failings of my once noble house. A haunted expression overtakes the Archon, and the lines running down his face deepen with sorrow. It takes him several moments to blink again and shake himself back to his senses. First things first. My soldiers reported on your activities in the Blade Grave. They saw what happened when you broke the Edict of Storms. The power of this edict flowed through you like the wind. No one could account for it, but I have my suspicions. You're becoming powerful. Perhaps in ways even I don't understand. I can't explain it. When I break edicts or access spires, I feel stronger. There's a connection between the edicts and what happened at Ascension Hall. I'm still putting the pieces together. No idea what you mean. Something has responded to my activities, that much is clear. Let's go with the lore option. I appreciate your honesty and your introspection. Still, you walk a dangerous path. I would not want it to reflect poorly on the Legion. These are tools beyond the ken of people or Archons alike. Take care that you don't overstep your bounds. Kairos' hierarchy, someone always notices. With that out of the way, let us return to the matter of the war. Our position in the tiers is strengthening by the day, but there's still work to be done. It is time to broaden our scope in this war. There are 2 regions of interest, and neither one of them would strengthen our hold on the realm. Lethian's Crossing is home to merchants and the skilled forge-bound artisans. The Burning Library was the home of the all-knowing sages before Kairos reduced it to cinders. Oh, we've already been to Lethian's Crossing. Are you stupid? I'll head to the Burning Library. Good. I understand that the Voices of Nerat has dispatched one of his miscreant gangs to comb through the ruins of the library. You cannot allow any privileged knowledge to fall into their hands. Kill any of his red-clad degenerates you find, and destroy the library as Kairos intended. There's also said to be a repository of arcane lore in the bowels of the library, Silent Archive. It must be eliminated to satisfy the terms of Kairos' will. My scoutmaster, Merrick, was dispatched to observe the Scarlet Chorus, though I haven't heard from him in some time. His last known location was the village of Effigy. The wilderness around the library is plagued with chorus patrols and wildfires that could make routes treacherous at a moment's notice. Merrick should be able to assist you in charting a safe course through that wasteland. He wears his head and frowns. I instructed Merrick to destroy all forbidden lore within the Burning Library given the first available opportunity. The fact that the Edict of Fire persists is cause to assume that he failed. What is it that you require? Okay, interesting. So, he obviously refuses to accept his granddaughter, I suppose, at this point. Which, I mean, I don't necessarily entirely disagree with, because, you know, his whole worldview basically just got dropped in the gutter, pretty much, but even so. Like, I think we have to go here. The thing is, I don't know what the Lethian's Crossing thing was, because there's nothing at the Lethian's Crossing. Like, we've been there already. We've already done that. We've cleared that area out. We've been to Lethian's Crossing itself. We've claimed the spire. We've done stuff around that area. Like, why... What else is there to do? I imagine there's probably something involved with the, what the hell are they called again? The Bronze Brotherhood. I expect there's more to be done there, but I don't really understand like what why he would send us back there. Like, that kind of seems like a side area at this point, because we've already completed most of our objectives, which was why I picked the library area instead, despite being very curious about why he was saying anything about Lethian's Crossing. I hope that after we finish the Burning Library area, that we'll go back to that, because I would like to know what the deal is there. But going here first, I think, is important, because I want to be able to break this edict, which will give us even more power and the lore in the place may give us more understanding. It looks like the final 2 towers are up in the Stone Sea area, so that would be a fair amount of time, most likely, before we actually could do a whole lot with that. Although I do wonder if we had gone with the Scarlet Chorus instead of the Disfavored, I wonder if we would have had access to these sooner, because if the Scarlet Chorus went up here, we would have had access to that area as friends of theirs. And I wonder if we could have claimed these 2 spires by now if we had sided with them instead. And that would have only left the Ocean Spire down here unavailable to us. Because we would have had to get through Ironhearth to do that, and all the stuff here at the Sentinel Stand and stuff that we just finished probably wouldn't have been available to us if we had sided with the Scarlet Chorus instead. So I'm curious about exactly how that would have worked. But this game really provides a good deal more opportunity to for replay than most other, pretty much any other game that I've seen, really. Like, it is actually pretty significant. Alright. I'm actually going to go ahead and end the episode, because I really need to go back to the Spires. I have a number of things I need to do there, none of which is going to be terribly interesting. And then we need to eventually move on to Effigy. But I think we are well served by just ending the episode here. So, it's a pretty lore and conversation heavy episode. Nothing really super, super exciting going on, but nevertheless, some interesting story developments though, so there was that. I will see you folks in the next episode, so take it easy, have a good day, and of course, as always, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.